Hi guys, Ben here from Motivation to Invest. We are now entering that magical season, that special time of year when everyone gets excited about what gifts they may receive. No, I'm not talking about Christmas, I'm talking about the season of SPACs or IPOs. Now, an IPO stands for an initial public offering and is how a private company goes public. A SPAC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Company, and this is basically a blank check company, so it's a public company with a heap load of cash and a sole purpose to acquire a private company. Through the acquisition of this private company, it gives them access to the public markets, allowing them to go public faster than a direct listing. Now, there's been so many IPOs this year, such as Snowflake, which Warren Buffett invested into, to all the hot new SPACs, especially EV SPACs. But in this video, I'm not going to cover any EV SPACs because I've done so much on those already. But in this video, I'm going to cover my top 3 IPO stocks for you to buy. Now, these are the IPOs which I personally believe have the most long-term potential. But firstly, let me just give you a warning. So investing into IPOs is very risky, as most of them tend to have a very high valuation due to all the exuberance behind the stock as it goes public. So you guys need to be mindful of that when investing. And investing into a company by a SPAC is even more risky because if the SPAC merger doesn't go through, so if the company doesn't manage to acquire the private company, maybe they have some sort of contractual dispute, then you could lose your money also. So I'm just giving you that warning, guys. This is not financial advice like all the videos on my channel. This is just what I'm personally doing after researching stocks in depth. With that being said, these are 3 stocks which I do think are extremely special and have fantastic long-term potential. But before we get started, guys, if you could give this video a big thumbs up, that helps out tremendously with the YouTube AI. And if you're new around here and you still haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on, only if you want more investing tips and exclusive stock market picks, which I'm personally investing into. With that being said, let's kick things off at stock number 3, which is Butterfly Network. So this is an extremely special IPO and one of my favorites right now. So this IPO, Bill Gates invested into this company and Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. Now, for those of you guys which don't know, ARK Invest is an investment firm which specializes in disruptive and innovative technology. Cathie Wood was the original Tesla bull, and she was one of the first to predict Tesla's monstrous bull run. So what does this company do? Well, this company manufactures portable ultrasound units which you can literally plug into your phone. So traditional ultrasound units are bulky, they're expensive, they're not very mobile. This solves that problem. So what is ultrasound? Because we're not medical professionals on this channel. So ultrasound uses high frequency sound waves in order to see inside the body. You may have seen this when somebody's pregnant and they put the device on the person's stomach to see if the baby is a boy or a girl. The same applies here, but it has many other medical applications. And this makes complete sense. If your car breaks down, the mechanic's going to want to pop the hood and see where the issues are. So what's the opportunity and why did Bill Gates invest into this company? 2/3 of the world has no access to medical imaging due to the expense and complexity of the equipment. So let's dive into the numbers for this business. So the company has an extremely strong balance sheet with minimal debt. It has 65% projected revenue growth. Now, generally, I say a growth stock is one which revenue is growing between 15 and 20% per year. This is growing at a monstrous 65%, which is almost unheard of. The company also has recurring revenue, which is one of my favorite factors when looking for an investment opportunity. So this is via the company's software, but the company also states that their Butterfly IQ device, which is what plugs into the phone, should generally be upgraded every 3 to 5 years. For medical professionals, this will be just like getting a new iPhone. So what are the risks with this company? Well, firstly, I see that the company is priced for perfection. So it does have a lot of exuberance behind it right now. There's a lot of momentum. There's a high valuation to the company. They do have extremely optimistic growth estimates for the company, 65%. Now that is truly priced for perfection. So let's say they miss their quarterly earnings, we could see the stock take a dive. But if this is on your watch list or shopping list, as I like to call it, then when it does take a dive, you can assess if the fundamentals of the business have changed. If the fundamentals haven't changed and the company still looks like a good company, but people are just being a bit more realistic on it now, then that could be a great opportunity to invest. So my second risk is competition. So I do see a lot of companies making imitation products of this device, especially companies in China and even companies such as Teladoc, which I've done videos on previously. So they're a leader in telemedicine. I can imagine that device and Teladoc fitting together perfectly. Now, the company does have a series of patents, although I've not dived deep into them to see how robust they are. And what's the third risk I see? Well, the third risk I see is customer adoption. So this is not to be used by me and you. This is to be used by medical professionals. And I spoke to a series of medical professionals and they've told me a few things. They said they like the product. They can see it being used. They know a few friends using these portable devices. But also they stated that many doctors are quite specific about the devices they use for ultrasound. In one friend of mine's own words, they like the big Toshiba. They've got some sort of specific attachment to certain products they already use. However, Butterfly Network's device does still seem very powerful for mobile applications. So either way, if there are any medical professionals watching, doctors, nurses, whatever, if you're working in a hospital and you use ultrasound or you see people using ultrasound, ask the question, show them this device, this Butterfly Network device, and try and get the feeling of if they would use it and if they would purchase a lot of these products, because that can help us as investors to find great investment opportunities. As the words of the great Peter Lynch says, he's a legendary investor, chances are if you like the product, you'll like the stock. So we need to find out, do these medical professionals like the product? On to stock number 2 is AvePoint. Now this is another special one. What I love about this company is it's not a new startup with projected revenues 50 years into the future and no real revenues right now. This is an established company. It's been a Microsoft established partner for nearly 20 years. They've won the Microsoft Partner Award 5 times in a row. It's a fantastic company overall, and they solve an immense issue for Microsoft's 365 platform, and that is the use of their data and their cloud services. So AvePoint focuses on transforming and managing data. This is not to be confused with Snowflake. So the company has a highly diversified portfolio of blue chip clients with over 16,000 accounts, which make up 25% of the Fortune 500. Now, the special thing about AvePoint is it's part of this so-called elite class. So if we take all the software companies on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, we have 212 companies. If we then filter them by those with over $150 million in revenue, we're left with just 137. If we then say which companies are growing despite their size at over 25% revenue growth, we're left with just 32 companies. If then we say which companies have a 10% EBITDA margin, which is earnings before interest and tax, then we're only left with 5 companies. Now we have AvePoint, which makes up number 6. So the 5 companies we have are Atlassian, RingCentral, ServiceNow, Zoom Info Technologies, and Zoom Video Communications. So you've used Zoom Video for conference calls, which has become immensely popular. But now AvePoint is part of this elite group. Now, as with other companies on this list, I'm not going to deep dive into exactly how to invest into it because it is a little bit complicated as it's a SPAC. But I have covered that in all my previous videos on these 3 stocks, which I'm covering in this video. Just binge watch those videos or even skip to the end of the videos and just watch the bit about the transaction details, and that will show you how to invest into these companies. And you can also assess your own personal risk tolerance and if you should invest into these companies. And finally, stock number 1 on my list. Now, this is a stock which I believe could be the biggest IPO of the year. The company, you would have heard of this one, Airbnb. So Airbnb is the popular rental online marketplace which disrupted the hotel industry, with this enabling platform allowing people to rent out rooms in their home or even rent out whole houses in order to earn extra income. Airbnb has been a fantastic company for many years, and I do love the whole company. Customers benefit because they get to rent an entire apartment or a house for less than the cost of a hotel room. They even get to rent new and exciting places such as tree houses and other alternative accommodations. The platform benefits because they take a commission from every booking, and the homeowner benefits because they're allowed to rent out their property and earn some passive income. So it's win-win-win, and when you see that of a business, you know it's going to be successful. However, there are some risks I do see with this business, because when you're investing, you need to look at both sides of the story. You can't just be bullish and narrow-minded on a stock. You need to look at both sides rationally and do what the great investor Howard Marks calls a probability distribution. What's the most likely outcome? what's the worst case scenario and what's the best case scenario, and you should adjust your portfolio for every single scenario. Now, there's a few reasons why companies go public. The first reason is to gain extra capital in order to expand the business. So let's say a company has a successful product or service, they've proved it in a small market, and now they want to expand internationally. Then they can go public and get lots of extra cash from the public markets to invest, to build new factories, to expand, to spend on marketing, etc. However, there's a second reason companies go public, and this is so management can exit the business and also so a company can survive. I don't know about the management if they're going to be exiting the business of Airbnb, but I'm afraid it does seem as if Airbnb is going public in order to survive. Because with most countries on lockdown and travel shut down across the world, Airbnb is struggling massively. For example, this January, guests made a net 33.3 million bookings on Airbnb for rooms and experiences such as city tours, cookery classes, and even stand-up comedy workshops. In March, they made a net 4.1 million cancellations like the rest of the travel industry. So Airbnb was in a real crisis. Although I do believe the company will recover in the long term, I did spot 3 major red flags in the accounting which you guys need to know about. Now, I'm not going to cover that in this video because it just takes too long and I've already covered it already. So I'll leave a link for that video below. Be sure you check that out if you're interested in Airbnb or potentially investing into it either at the IPO or even waiting a few weeks down the line and then investing into the company. You need to know the business, you need to know the numbers before you invest into any stock. Now, with many companies having an IPO recently, sometimes it's difficult for me to get videos out fast enough because the editing just takes so long. However, after many requests from you guys and to say thank you for the continual support, I finally launched my VIP membership group. So basically the VIP membership is for those of you who want that extra bit of value. You'll be able to access my buy and sell signals so you'll know exactly when I'm buying and selling certain stocks. So when I make my moves, you can make your moves. In addition, you'll get access to our VIP private members chat where you can discuss all different types of stocks, IPOs, SPACs, whatever it may be, it's all going to be on there. You'll also be surrounded by like-minded people with a positive and successful mindset, which will help you improve your quality of life. In addition, you'll also get access to my 6-figure portfolio, and I'm going to reveal to you guys the stocks that have been my best performers and also give you in-depth knowledge into my own thought process when investing into many businesses. So the link's in the description for the Patreon. Be sure to check it out. Go to the Patreon website, watch the video, and just see if it's for you. Honestly, it's less than the price of a coffee once a month. So to me, it's definitely worth it. So you've just got to see if it's worth it for you. With that being said, I hope you guys found some value in this video. And if you did, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That helps out tremendously with the channel. And if you're new around here and you still haven't subscribed yet, you're still debating, then go ahead. It's completely free. Just hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on if you want more investing tips and exclusive stock market picks, which I'm personally investing into. With that being said, I hope you guys have an incredible day, and I'll see you in my next video. Invest safe.